Very warm evening to everybody on a Friday weekend. I understand you all have taken out time and joined us today. So I, Pooja Yaduvir, welcome you all on behalf of Team GSLC in our today's discussion. Amazing panelists with us. Join me in welcoming Ms. Aradhana Rana, Director, the Icon Public School, Nagar. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today. And next we have Dr. Vasudha Neelmani, Principal, Rockwoods International School, Udaipur. Welcome, Vasudha ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, all.
Joining her, we have Miss Shefali Charan, Principal, Asian World School, Jaipur. Welcome, Shefali ma'am. Good to have you back.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody.
Miss Manisha Joshi, Principal, Mother Mary School, Delhi. Welcome, Manisha ma'am.
Thank you, Pooja, and good evening, everyone.
And next up, we have Dr. Yash Hiru Gursahani, Managing Trustee of BSGM School and Junior College from Aurangabad. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone.
All our amazing panelists are such experienced educators, have been the trailblazers in bringing out those changes and have seen throughout their journey. And to have this discussion with them, I think is a kind of an affirmation. It is kind of going to solidify the thought process that we actually need to promote and need to bring in and need to instill in our education system, also which NEP 2020 promotes. So my first question here is to Aradhana ma'am. Ma'am, we are trying to do a lot of new things. We are bringing in this, we are bringing in that. But what is that one belief about the early years learning that we must completely unlearn before we can actually reinvent it or think about reimagining it? So what would be that one belief? Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Pooja, for the question. And I think you directed it to the right person because I have experienced this education for, I won't tell you my age, but it's really, really long. So, preschool education in our times was the least important thing because we were only sent to school in class 1. And before that, nobody really bothered. Then gradually, as I grew up and came into my teaching career, preschool education was given some sort of importance. And you send the children, basically, mothers send their children to be a little rid of them for 3 hours. And to get them used to school. And this recently in the sense the past about 25 years, this thinking has started coming in, and there's a lot of change. So the one belief that we never had was that one, preschool education was important, and then when it became important, it became a place where the child learned basic. He was prepared for class 1. That's all. So it was learning, and then this play came into being, and a lot of people started talking about play. And even as a teacher, I remember play was something treated very differently, and play periods. So it was games periods for even the younger ones, and maximum we would do is to give them a few blocks, probably just to relieve the teacher. But in the last 10-15 years, what I've seen is a drastic change in this whole scene. And I am amazed what kind of a difference it's making. So the one belief that I would like it changed in the early learning is that learning is separate from play. Now, I have learned over a period of time, I have learned, and I'm led to believe that actually play is learning. We never thought of it that way. So, and still this is a mindset of many schools. And when parents come to us, they ask us, मेरे बच्चे को ना ABC तो पहले ही आता है, and how much do you teach? So they're never questioning us about play methods, about any creativity, any kind of skill development, nothing. They're only bothered कितने तक tables आते हैं, कितना ABC कहाँ तक आता है. So the one belief that I would really like change in all over is that learning is separate from play. It just misunderstands the child's brain altogether. And now science has developed so much. We know that actually play is the highest form of learning. And the brain develops through active exploration, problem solving, social interaction. So all this is learned through play. And also, even now in schools, most of the schools, there's a false kind of hierarchy. We give them report cards, and report cards has very little play activity or the skills they learn. Report card has what he's done in class in terms of numbers, alphabets, words, and a little bit of probably EVS, like we call it. I mean, I dislike those terms now because, we are separating, we are categorizing education into these compartments. So that is a hierarchy created where we think that, learning is more important and playtime is separate. So play is not a break from learning, play is the learning. So that is one thing that I would like, changed. And moreover, the environment that we provide is all the desks, the chairs, is all teacher-based learning. The teacher's teaching, the students are learning. So that kind of materials that we want in the classroom just for them to explore, for them to experiment, those are sadly lacking, in schools. Even though we have a lot of people who come to us now giving us, these kind of playway methods, but we still treat them as playway methods. We are still not thinking that play is learning by itself. So ultimately, it's a belief of disregarding the structure or guidance and, making it an engine of development that needs to be changed and make learning, when we say we'll make learning fun, we are still thinking that play is just a method. In the fun, they are learning actually. So this concept we need to change in our schools and in our teachers. Assessment methods have to change because we're still assessing them on what they have learned. We are still not assessing them on the skills they developed. So that is one thing I would like to see changed. Thank you.
Oh, great, ma'am. Wonderful. What a beautiful way to start this discussion. And as you very categorically mentioned, and it kind of has stuck onto me, is that learning, they used to think that learning is separate from the play. So play is not a break, it is in learning itself. So that is how we need to take it as a single unit, because none of them can work in silos. It is not possible. And that also leads us to the assessment part of it. So I think this whole structure, the whole process needs to build the mindset, as you mentioned, is that the mindset has to be there that this is the way the early year children are going to learn, because that is how the growth actually happens. Thank you so much, Radna ma'am, and thank you so much for giving us such amazing perspective and helping us set the base of this discussion. So now I would like to move on to our next panelist, which is Vasudha ma'am. Ma'am, I would request you to help me understand that in a classroom, are we mistaking the quiet children for well-behaved learners and losing the kind of very signals the brains give during the learning?
We do that often. We feel that we equate two things. Silence is equated with discipline, discipline is equated with learning, but that is not the case. So, what happens is the neuroscience and pedagogy tells us that, more the child is engaged, the more child is, bubbling with excitement, more child is interacting with the peers, more he is learning. So we have to create the classroom where thinking is and learning is audible and visible both.
So thank you so much, ma'am. And I think this is going to be my everyday webinar, a thing that where I say I wish I was studying in this era where I had such amazing principles. So now I would like to move from Asudha ma'am to our next panelist, which is Shafali ma'am. What actually happens to a child's brain when curiosity is treated as a distraction, then a direction? So what
Teaching is not a, like learning is an active verb. I feel teaching is a very passive verb. So teaching, when we're talking about curiosity, about children allowed to learn, then things will happen organically. We don't have to try as much. And also, I feel that when it comes to children, and especially children of foundational years, we have a lot of preconceived notions. They'll be able to do this, they'll not be able to do this. I've seen that whenever we challenge children, they end up doing something far more, they're far more capable than we give them credit for. Children will surprise us. We just have to, give them that stimuli and they will respond.
So, Manisha ma'am, my question to you is, as ma'am mentioned that each word has become redundant and teaching is what we should not be focusing on. So, could the most important early year skill be the one we never teach? Could it so?
Okay, thank you, Pooja. So I would just want everyone to imagine a world where mistakes are celebrated, not criticized, where resilience is nurtured and failures are seen as the stepping stones to success. So trial and error is how young children learn everything, whether it is walking, speaking, balancing, drawing, etc.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And now I would like to move on to Yash, sir. And so now, can you help us understand that what truth do the children express through play that they cannot yet verbalize? And are we listening to actually what they are trying to say? Because play becomes an integral part of their learning process. So, how do you notice that? Over to you, sir.
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening once again to all my panelists, co-panelists. They've beautifully expressed various aspects, and why I use the word express, because while they were speaking, there was a twinkle in their eye, there was a smile on their face, and one of them even said the movement of eyebrows and stuff. And this is exactly the answer to your question. I mean, the first language that a child ever learns is to play. When they are going through their storytelling, they might choose a character which they feel they relate to most. So, say lion and a mouse, and most of them wish to become a lion. So they want to show, I have superiority, or maybe I am powerful, and this is the way I would like to change things and stuff. So yes, I mean, understanding their world through their expressions is amazing.
Quickly move on to my second round of question, and I'll request the panelists to answer just in one sentence. And I'll start with Aradhna ma'am here, and the same question goes for all our panelists. Aradhna ma'am, if our play kit, like we have a complete kit which has everything that helps a child learn through playway method, can teach one skill for life, what skill would actually matter? So, what should be that one skill as per you?
Pooja, I think the meta skill that you require in life is problem solving. And a resilient problem solving is a skill that a play kit, life itself should, happen on those lines. It should teach you, because that is the first, in preschool, children, I think, learn problem solving by play kits. In life, we learn it otherwise. So it's very important that any play kit teaches you not only problem solving, but a resilient problem solving, which means whether you fail the first time, second time, you are inspired to do it again. It should be so interesting that you are inspired to do it again and again. So from that stems everything, because if you know problem solving in life, social emotional learning, mental health, everything is sorted out. So I would say problem solving.
Great. We've got problem solving here. Yes, Vasudha ma'am, what would be that one skill for you?
So for me, it would be facilitating thinking brain rather than performing brain.
Great. Shefali ma'am, what would that one skill be for you?
Actually, I couldn't zero down to one. So the
Okay.
two I would like to talk about, one is decision making.
We've got decision making and health education. So thank you so much, ma'am. Manisha ma'am, what will be that one skill for you?
So one is resilience, because what is happening is that the this particular skill needs to be enhanced, no? So the ability to move through the difficult times, which the present generation is not adapted to, because every demand is getting fulfilled by the parents. So they have become very weak. So that is emotional strengthening and resilience.
So, what would be your add on to this?
Ma'am, I believe the ability to figure out things, because curiosity and experimentation together will, I mean, lead to a good foundation in life. So,
Wow, another beautiful life skill. Yes, thank you so much, sir. Yes, Cheryl, what would that life skill be for you?
May I say all the above?
You may.
I think I believe that cognitive skills is something which is a very key player for a child's development.
I'm extremely grateful for all our panelists, those who joined us today. We had Aradhna ma'am with us, Vasudha ma'am, Shafali ma'am, Manisha ma'am, Yash sir, and Cheryl for sharing such amazing inputs and perspectives. And as I said, hearing it from seniors like you all, from the trailblazers and people who've been working in this fraternity with such immense experience and talking about the early years, it actually kind of gives us that base and the foundation that what we are doing, we're running in the right direction. And for me, this discussion becomes successful, and that is the biggest takeaway for me when we sit and kind of curate these topics, and we want to share the information with all the educators as much as possible. I would like to say this was a full house session. We had participate, the complete Zoom place was full. So thank you so much once again. And we just need to remember that they may be small, but they're very smart. So we need to catch up to their smartness, make things simple, available, give them that freedom, and just trust them. They all are doing wonderful, and they will help us do wonderful as well.